Time now for Entre Nous with Solange Mougin. Good to see you, Solange. Today we're talking about dual citizenship with the changing trends. But why are we talking about this now and in context of the United Kingdom?
Well, in essence, the flexibility period on this is officially over in the UK. As of February 25th, nearly all dual British citizens must carry a UK passport when traveling to the United Kingdom. This coincides with the end of a grace period on the ETA, or the rule that nationals from 85 countries need to have an electronic travel authorization to enter the UK. But before I get into the nitty-gritty of these rules for British dual citizens, as well as France's take on dual citizenship and also globally how there is a rush for powerful passports, I need to clarify some terms here. For conversational ease, I'm going to use the words citizenship and nationality interchangeably, but there is a difference. Citizenship refers to a legal status, whereas nationality means a person belongs to a nation legally, culturally, or ethnically. In other words, you can say be French, but not have legal, or feel French, but not have legal nationality. So what happened in the UK? Well, as of February 25th, the leniency periods for the ETA has ended, which means that outside of exceptions like Irish citizens, nationals from 85 countries need this £16 authorization to enter. You apply before you leave, and it is akin to the US's ESTA or the European version that's slowly being rolled out here. Except the problem is dual nationals, dual British citizens, they cannot and do not apply for these ETAs. So dual nationals must instead present a British passport, which costs about £100. The other option is to pay for a certificate of entitlement, which costs a whopping £589.
Interesting. Now, these new rules have left many scrambling, haven't they?
Yeah, they have. The British press has been covering stories of dual citizens fearing that they'll be stranded abroad, others canceling trips, amidst grumbling that dual citizens are being treated unfairly. Political parties, as well as the post-Brexit EU citizen group, the 3 million, they have called for a one-off authorization and leniency to give people time to sort out their paperwork. But the Home Office has said dual nationals should have known about this, as the government sites have mentioned it since October 2024. It has, though, let carriers use their discretion for expired passports for now. So how many people does this really affect? Well, the 2021 census in the UK of UK residents found that 6.5% of those born outside of the country were dual citizens, and 1.2% of the population born in the UK were as well. And those figures in total, around more or less 1.2 million people, it reflects the big post-Brexit jump in regard to dual nationality requests. Now, this rule tightening reflects a larger global trend of stricter travel hurdles as borders become more digitalized. And often dual citizens don't necessarily fit easily into those systems when it comes to name matching, centralized records, or algorithmic risk assessments, biometric databases, or many of the administrative hoops that travelers now have to go through.
And Solange, what about France? Are its dual citizen figures in line with the UK's, for instance?
Well, here in France and in many nations, it is hard to know exactly how many dual citizens there are. Some people don't mention it, in part because some nations, they tolerate it but frown upon it. In a handful of others, like India, it is also forbidden. Also, many countries, they don't require you to mention that you are a dual citizen, particularly if you are so from birth. But we do have a few figures from France, even if they are old. In 2012, the National Institute of Demographics found that about 5% of the French between 18 and 50 were dual nationals, and 90% of them were immigrants or descendants of immigrants. And the study also found that dual nationals expressed a strong sense of French identity, over 80%, as well as an attachment to the nationality of their ancestors. And this is a case in point that it is possible to feel at once that you belong to multiple countries and cultures.
Let's talk about how the tide may be turning regarding dual citizenship. Are countries souring on it?
Well, it depends on the country. The UK says that the new rules do not reflect a change on its view of dual citizenship. It continues to accept it, as does France. In the US, a senator actually pushed to rid the country of dual citizenship, but that proposal is not likely to go anywhere. And actually, until recently, the larger trend has been greater tolerance. In 1990, fewer than a third of countries countries allowed dual citizenship in the case of naturalization. By 2016, that one-third jumped to three-fourths. Today, a handful of countries still refuse it outright, but rules are getting overall stricter, particularly in regard to the number of people seeking dual citizenship. That's increasing, what with globalization, geopolitical uncertainty, remote work, golden passports, schemes where the very wealthy have a plan B, where they want to work anywhere. And also specific nations that people are turning to are changing. Every year, multiple firms release their lists on this. According to the Henley Passport Index, the top 2026 passport is Singapore's, but they are kind of anti-dual nationality. That's followed by Japan, South Korea. As for France, it's in fourth place with access to 185 countries. Now, most European nations are in third, fourth, and fifth place. And the UK actually is in sixth with 182 visa-free destinations. And it actually has the steepest year-on-year loss, with the loss of easy access to some 8 fewer nations in the 12 months prior. So these hurdles to cross borders are constantly changing, as are citizenship requirements, as the world adjusts to many, many changes.
A lot of shifting times there. Thank you very much for that, Solange Mougin there. And you can check out other editions of our Entre Nous on our website, france24.com.